everything will be at least partially powered by AI.
SarahAI is an AI-powered chief of staff focused for the SME business owner. That one person who does your all the admin work, but it's making your life easier and it's involved in the strategy side as well.
Your solution helps them save time and money by reducing the need to hire a personal assistant while staying on the top of their task.
AI is not going to take the job. It's going to be the people who are using AI will take the job. So we're looking at saving roughly anywhere 10 to 15 hours a week. It comes to almost 2,000 a month. It's a bit more relevant to in the Middle East.
The visit of Donald Trump to the UAE and a huge investment around the AI, including the establishments of the data centers. AI alone is going to contribute to 14% of UAE's GDP, which is a huge thing. That's approximately $100 billion.
My mission is also to keeping SarahAI very much affordable and accessible. It'll be cheaper than ChatGPT and Claude.
Hi everyone. Today we are diving into AI agents, smart system that thinks, learns and acts. They are revolutionizing every industry, every sector, especially doing wonders in the field of customer service, executive assistance and many more. People say you can be a multi-million dollar agency with just single founder if you're using AI agents. You see the power of this technology? Hence, you need to know about AI agents now because they are the driving future, handling 65% of the customer service by 2025. This episode will reveal how they save, boost efficiency, spark innovation, giving you tips to stay ahead. Whether you are a tech person, business person, or a startup person, you will gain practical insight. Joining me today, we have Abrar Siddique, ex-EPAMer and a founder of many startups and a Canadian innovator who now is tapping Dubai's AI market with his AI agent product called as SarahAI, which claims to save approximately 15 to 20 hours of CEO's time per week. Imagine the time that this product is actually saving. So do watch until the end and drop the questions in the comments. And if you want to chat with me or talk to me, direct message me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to connect one-on-one. Let's dive in and enjoy the show. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Afaq. Good to be here. Good to connect with you after a brief pause we've had in our communication.
Absolutely. So Abrar, this is one of the podcasts that I'm looking forward to. First of all, because it's with you, Abrar Siddique, and second, because it's on artificial intelligence. Abrar, we connected during our EPAM days. You are based in Dubai, I
Mhm.
am based in Toronto, and I have followed your LinkedIn post about
My
AI.
hometown, Toronto. Yeah.
Yes, hometown Toronto, which I think from your LinkedIn profile says snowy, windy Canadian landscape, right?
Yeah.
So
I,
I have been
I
following your LinkedIn post. So from that perspective, all the posts that I see are all about AI and the cutting edge technology. And when suddenly you announced your Sarah AI, that is an AI agent which is revolutionizing the enterprises in 2025, I knew we had to talk. So your entrepreneurial mindset, the history of building startups and driving AI transformation in enterprises are inspiring to me. And I'm sure our viewers are eager to hear your journey. So tell us your journey, please.
Thank you so much, Afaq. No, you're making it sound so great, but it's nothing that exciting, personally speaking. No, look, I've had a mix of my. If you're talking about my career trajectory, I was in Toronto, went to York University, graduate from there. I started my work at IBM. That was my first job, and so I've had like a mix of working in large tech companies. I then in Toronto while I was there, I did my first startup. That was in payments by the name Lukoa that got acquired and turned into something called Known POS, which is still running. It's we built a payment platform with Bluetooth enabled payments, and then it turned to a full fledged POS solution. So did that for 4 years. I went back to IBM. So my journey in AI started, I would say, like 9, 10 years back. This is, in fact, I mean, I was going to take a little break because I had done a very intensive, my first startup for a while. But yeah, when the guys I'd worked with at IBM before, they were putting together a new practice for AI under IBM Watson. So, I was very curious and I want to understand what is this whole AI thing about. And it was a while back. So it was a good place. I got to learn about it, did that for 4 years. then an opportunity came up to come to UAE with another AI cybersecurity company. Did that, joined EPAM, and then roughly like I knew that I was going to do something again. It was, I would say, I'd taken a break from the startup world, and because in the large tech companies, one, I would you get, there's a lot of opportunity to learn. You get to work with large clients, big problems you're solving, and you have a lot of resources. Quite frankly, number of things do require resources in a way. The pace is obviously different compared to startup, but the plan was that at some point I would do it. I would say with the whole AI thing is even when I was at EPAM, I was involved in a number of projects. We did build an AI data advisor for UAE Ministry of Finance. That was one of the large AI project we did here with a very prominent client. As those things were coming together, it was the whole SarahAI thing came along those time where I felt it was a good time to jump back into it. On a personal side, things were in a good place, and I'd planned and I was ready for this thing. So yeah, I started that, and I was in stealth mode for a few months. So what you're referring to is you saw that, yeah, I think April we came out of our stealth mode, and because we had our event at Dubai AI Festival in Dubai, which just happened in April 23rd, and so that was kind of like our announcement.
Amazing to know about your journey. Sometimes passion drives and you keep following it and you solve the problems that are around you and you try to achieve those things. So, Abrar, from your profile, what I have spoken to you so far, and so far, whatever I know you, and I'm sure all the people who are following you through LinkedIn or through Sarah AI knows that you are a passionate problem solver in the space of AI. And I'm not just saying it because I follow it, because I see that you have also advocated about those things in a lot of conferences, a lot of talks, a lot of lightning talks that you have done. You seem to be a problem solver in the space of AI. How do you want people to recognize you as a problem solver, as a founder, as an entrepreneur, or someone who's building series of startups? What is your take on it?
An interesting question you asked. No, first of all, I'm very passionate about technology. Anytime there's a new technology, so that's been consistent from the when early days. It was mobile. We were one of the first projects to build the first mobile payments app. Then it came across, fintech was emerging, payments, cloud, all of these things. How I would like to be known as more and someone who's curious and passionate about technology and how it does. And then the other part, which I really like and enjoy, is how we can use all of this technology to solve problems and solving them from a very much like from a user centric perspective, but doing things that make sense. And ideally, you're solving a big problem. It's pretty much around the fact, and I've seen that evolution where we have more like technology has been getting better, compute is becoming cheaper, our data processing. If it used to, I remember like having like a 2 GB, no, even like a 1 GB data plan was enough.
Not at
10
all
20
enough.
GB is not even like and we're getting things that process faster in a way. The other day I was actually looking at some of the picture sizes in my iPhone, and each picture is like 2 3 GBs, and that was just reminding me how, and these are like just like thousands of these pictures, and I'm just one person. Imagine how many iPhones are out there, and they're taking all these high resolution pictures, and that data is sitting, it's going to the Apple cloud and moving up and down. Same thing on Android, all those pictures in high definition with all the, all the things. So much data is sitting, it's going, moving back and forth through all the different clouds and all of it. And just reminds me of, yeah, how things have evolved where people used to talk about, I think Google Drive used to give you 5 GB limit. That was a time, that was
Yeah,
a big thing. And people were like, oh,
smart.
now I can save my pictures and all. You can't even put one picture in that limit anymore.
Now,
So
no, nothing.
how far things we've come far and how we are able to make use of it. But ideally, yeah, it's also there's a part now you can say been in the industry for almost 20 years. There are times, maybe it's also because I've traveled around and I have exposure to different countries, different societies. On one hand, where I come from, where you are in the West, there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of wealth, and we call these, first world problems. But then, when we're sitting in the developing countries, the majority of the world population lives in this part of the world, Southeast Asia, Africa. Like, so I see a lot of disparity as well. And it kind of like sometimes it doesn't add up, quite honestly.
So what is that one moment that made you say, I have to build Sarah AI to change enterprises?
For me, it was, I would say, it's a collection of things. So, Sarah, just for everyone to listen, it's like what I have and building is an AI powered chief of staff focus for the SME business owners. The main idea is when you're in a senior role or if you're a chief executive of a big company, you get these executive assistants. In fact, you get a chief of staff. The word comes from the government organizations, so all the ministers, presidents, and all they have a chief of staff. That it came in the technology companies, and it's that one person who does your all the admin work, but it's making your life easier and it's involved in the strategy side as well. So as I would say, last 2 3 years back, I'd been using all the AI technologies, Claude, Perplexity, all the Chat GPT, all the way from 2 from a chat perspective and all. So I've always had this thing where personally, for me as well, that yeah, it'll be, and especially certain use cases when I'm driving, when I'm outside, when I'm not in front of my computer, where some messages are coming on WhatsApp or certain things are going on in with the thing. So it was always there, yeah, that because I have exposure to this thing. I've seen how senior executives or wealthy people live. You can say that with their army of assistants and chief of staff and all. So there was a thing, and then I was like, okay, these are certain things like you get to them when you are at a certain level, or or you acquire certain wealth, these assistants and all. So for me, it was like, the thing with technology is like it allows us to get access to certain things which were only available to the rich and the wealthy people, right? So that's where it was. Part of it was need, I felt, and the other part, I would say, it started happening more after last year with the whole chat GPT thing. And there's a lot of advancement that I saw on the voice technology side. So I started getting into it from that perspective as well.
Abrar, you are a passionate problem solver who spots enterprise challenges. What specific pain point convinced you that an AI agent like Sarah was a perfect solution, and how did you know it would transform the businesses?
I did some interviews for what do you call interviews? I had a number of conversations with SM, and my focus was also on the SME side of things. So like business owners, not on the enterprise side, for because I felt like they're taken care of. Like a CEO of a big company, they have it like, and I didn't have too much of an interest trying to solve something. For me, actually, one more thing I should add is people were coming to me in my circle, like different business owners and non-technical. They were like, we would like AI to do this, or we would like this to do that. And I was guiding them as much as I could through, I'm like, okay, a lot about our prompt management, a lot I would then tell them about certain tools, like, even to this day, when I tell people about Claude, that's a surprise, which is a surprise for me. But telling them around the APIs that are available. So I would be like, hey, look, these are things, or sharing some courses. I'm like, go do this course and you can actually write your own small agent. And now it's just so many things. You've got Lovable, you've got Cursor, Windsurfer. So it all depends how technical someone is or not. But for me, you're asking how I went about it was there was a hunch, just like that maybe there is something there, and then there is the other part is around just that exercise. So lots of interviews,
The
spoke
market
to
fit,
people here.
the market fit
Yeah.
exercise.
Yes, and then I ran surveys. So I had questions, I ran surveys, I distributed surveys, I used my network, and I got like, yeah, good, almost like 100 plus responses, which kind of like also, and those surveys again, this this quite well from a product management perspective. It wasn't about AI. It had nothing to do with AI, by the way, or agents. The surveys are around, the challenges the SME business owners are facing. That's what the surveys are. What are the issues that you're facing? Again, target towards the SME, small businesses in our region. And yeah, so that kind of gave me a lot of input, feedback, and then I took that, put it start together. And that actually developed my kind of like, you can say, a roadmap in terms of what to solve, how to go about it. And that's, so I would say it's a classical product management type.
Wow, very interesting. I see you have evolved through the entire problem. You understood the problem. You built a product that people actually want. So let me ask you, is Sarah AI available in the market for people to use?
We are in a beta right now. So yes, for me it was, so by the way, we started like in February, so it's only been 3 months to get it together. I did all my initial surveys and all roughly around February and all, got a team together. So we built it, and for me it was always again there is because we're all engineers in my team, and we have a couple of product people, but they're more like product design people. I'm sure you know this from I mean, my fundamental belief is, yes, get the first, so the idea is to get the MVP out so people can start interacting, and so that's out right now. And there are our beta program, which is available live on our website. Anyone can go and join that beta program and share input with us. Through that process, we are actually, it was more around the survey gave me enough insight. Now I wanted to create people to see the experience, because Sarah AI is something we build, works on voice and WhatsApp. That's our other piece. There is no dashboard, nothing like that. It's just like in someone you can speak to or communicate, and it's a bit more relevant to where we are in our region in Middle East, because here we are, most of the work happens on WhatsApp or over a phone call. It's a little different compared to the West. So that was a focus.
Hmm. Can you elaborate more on the real world use cases of small, medium businesses problems that Sarah AI is ready to solve?
Yeah. One of the issues that a lot of people is around that delegation, around keeping track of tasks. There's a lot of softwares available, Sana, Trello, project management tools. When you think about SME, some small business person which has like 10 team members, they're first of all, they're not paying for these softwares. Most of it is, a lot of the SaaS software is used in the big companies, and they, if anything, they're on a free version. One of the issues that the people face is, as a business owner, there's tasks coming in, things are coming, but it's either in their notes, in their WhatsApp chats, so they're unable to keep track of it. So SarahAI, we have a task management system. So you can call SarahAI and be like, hey, for example, I'll be like, create a task for Afaq to publish this podcast by next Thursday. So the task gets created, it's in my system, but then you get a WhatsApp message that there's a task on a certain due date. Now, when the date comes, that morning you will get a message, a WhatsApp reminder that this task has been done or not. You can update it, you can communicate, but the idea is, like, if my assistant, now she's handling the task and managing it. I'm on my end. By the my One of the other things we've done is, once you're on the platform, every morning you get this morning brief, a daily summary, which is a concept that comes out of from the enterprise government space. So every morning you get a WhatsApp message. It shows you what are your meetings, your tasks that are overdue, your priority emails. Again, not all the emails, but what are the important emails which you've identified. So you just get a quick snapshot, and maybe you're getting in your car. So if you get in the car, then you can just start a conversation with Sarah. You can like, Sarah, can you run me through my task list? And then she can start saying, okay, we had a task due for Afaq, but he didn't complete it. Then I'd be like, okay, you know what? Send Afaq a reminder. And so it's that interaction between your task, meetings, and all where we are. And as we are working towards this, as we're bringing some of these, like if they have a CRM system, so they can interact with their CRM system, HubSpot, Zoho, whichever they're using, finance systems, QuickBooks. So that's kind of like our roadmap to bring in all the different business productivity tools that any CEO or the business owner is using, in just taking all of those different data pieces, building the intelligence around that. But on top of it is just our layer of, which is voice and WhatsApp. And that's part we've left to the user, because I've seen this, and even like certain people, they like to call, they would prefer to, have a voice conversation. Then some people prefer to just chat on WhatsApp. And then there are people who send WhatsApp voice notes. So it's kind of like whatever works for you, you in that case. It's available in that mode, basically.
Nice. I see. So let me paraphrase this and help me understand if I'm right or wrong. So imagine I am a very small business person and also someone who's working full time. That means I'm doing two things at the same time. And I usually run my business on WhatsApp. And I might have integrated many other things within my office space like CRM, maybe some personal to-do task, or maybe other things that helps me do things manually. Now, somebody sends me a message on my WhatsApp and has something to do with I have to take a task. Maybe I have to meet someone over the coffee chat. Maybe I have to do some podcast with somebody, or maybe I have to get some execution done. So you're saying is that Sara AI will pick this up from my WhatsApp message, automatically create inventories in my CRM, will create inventory in my to-do list, and it can do that with the help of voice command. And then on the time or on a day, that specific thing when this has supposed to happen, it will remind me of all of those things, help me create a calendar invite schedule, and also help me prepare with the necessary things that will help me achieve success for that particular meeting. Example, if I was going for a podcast, it will help me with the logistics, the preparation, and anything else that is required. Is my understanding right?
Yeah, yeah. The main idea is basically instead of you going through all those systems, you can just like you'd call someone. Like if I were to call you a fuck, where are these things? And that's kind of like, when because understand that as a business owner, CEO, you want to get rid of all this admin and work. You want to keep your mind space on strategy, on growth. You're spending your time meeting clients, customers, investors. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of like, I don't know, I would say there's certain things, just like, for example, if I ask you, Afaq, can you, tell me, uh, what are how are the sales last week? If you have the information, you'll give it to me. But if I ask you, Afaq, give me projection for next 3 years, there's some data crunching, some report generation. So you won't be able to give it to me right away, but you will process it and then you can send it to me over WhatsApp after like few hours, right? Now, so that's the idea, yeah. So understand like, I think, and this also to manage expectations. People have with AI, that's another thing. So people think that it's a magical thing, it's just going to do all of these things. First of all, it's at an early stage. There are certain capabilities, but don't expect it to do certain things right away. It will get there. And that's the main idea as well. Like, so we're building this layer where we're bringing in automation and all the AI tools to support. In our case, it is to support and help like a small business SMB CEO with their admin task and making their life better. That's all it is right now. This is not going to come up with a revolutionary business idea and make you rich overnight.
Definitely not, but it will save a lot of money. I'm guessing that it will save a lot of time as well because we are saving cost on resources, we are saving cost on the operation efficiency, and the time that we get for a person, that person would be able to do or manage many other things within their day to day. Imagine a life of a CEO, single CEO who's going to manage all of these things. You are adding so much of his or her time in their control over the day.
Yeah, yeah. No, that we have already. So with this thing, and we've been doing some of the analysis and also we're looking at saving roughly anywhere 10 to 15 hours a week for a business owner, which comes to, if you go at like in our world, we would price it like our hourly rate around $30 an hour. So it comes to almost 2,000 a month. Now you have to keep
$2,000 a
in
month.
Yeah, because when you're a business owner, and I can relate to this as a founder, when you're and especially you're doing a lot of things. You're responsible for the business, you're responsible for sales, marketing, and over the time you would have people, but even if you have like 20 people, you're managing things, you're making sure the money is coming in, the bank accounts are, payments are happening, a lot of stuff you have to get involved. If there's a problem, so I would say, and again, second time I've been in this role, and my father was also a business owner, so I've just seen this throughout my life. So challenges and I'll tell you the thing is, this is again, maybe just for context, the difference between a corporate job and a startup or a small business is, when it's your job, if you don't do a good job, you get fired or whatever, you lose it. If you're a business owner, you don't do well, you don't perform, 20, 30 other people get affected because they're going to be out of jobs for a simple word. So as a business owner, as an SME, so that's where, you talk about the challenges, the thing that they're going on, from an outside might look very glamorous. The person's in, doing all the things, but that person is and responsible for, like families. And if you talk about like, just it grows up. So today somebody is 20 people, 50 people, 100 people, then a lot of them are responsible for what their customers and clients are doing, right? So the business has to sustain, and that's why you're responsible for many of these things. So that's one of the reason I kind of like, I've seen this, I've been around this problem, and I've been around these people for a long time. And quite honestly, with AI, there's an opportunity to do this. But one of the things that I'm working and I'm very passionate about is making it affordable and accessible in our world, in our region. I have to preface this, you're sitting in a rich country. UAE is also like so we are a small country, but we're coming up. We are resourceful. But I would just, I mean, I hope you don't mind it, but I would say, yeah, in the West, in the US and America, you guys are, very resourceful. Things are, you can afford many, many things like $30-$40 AI agents, are not a thing. But here, for us in this region, we like to do things efficiently, and that's why my mission is also to keeping Sarah AI very much affordable and accessible. When our plans are coming out, they will be coming out soon, but it'll be cheaper than ChatGPT and Claude. That's all I can say right now. People are using that, but I want to keep it and I'll continue to make it very much affordable in our market.
I think this is a strong advantage, especially since you are targeting small to medium sized organization. These are the kind of companies that need to scale efficiently and become more resourceful. Your solution, Sarah AI, helps them save time and money by reducing the need to hire a personal assistant while staying on the top of their task, ultimately leading to significant cost saving. It's said that AI agent products are expected to handle around 65% of the responsibilities typically managed by the personal assistants, particularly service related interactions. And you are very right. And you mentioned this earlier as well, that these AI agents are not fully matured. Not just Asara AI, and any AI agent related emerging technology. Just because it has just started in 2025 only, and especially for entrepreneurs and small businesses, CEOs, it's a little hard to basically catch up to that. Let me ask you this. Do you see Sarah AI as something that will replace jobs or it will create new opportunities?
Yeah, no. So look, my perspective on view and all, and the way we're doing it is like we're augmenting human capabilities. So I'll tell you the problem is, look, when I mean, I'm not so much it's not an issue in bigger companies, but when there's a power of delegation, you need to do more. Actually, we are in this situation where like for example, if my sales are like, $100 million, naturally next year I want to do at least at minimum 120, right? What does that mean? I mean, I need to get more people, right? So the challenge in the SMB world is the fact that you don't, you're not going to have, can't afford quality resources. Like think about it, right? So when they're, and I know this firsthand as well as the issue that come in, like a lot of these small businesses, SMBs, people will come in, they're not getting that high salary like a big company or any of the big brands or the names, right? So they would spend some time, they will get skills and all, but as soon as some big bank or like, in your case, if you're sitting in Canada, like, as soon as like somebody from IBM, Microsoft, those are big like TD, CIBC, whatever, a big company like MasterCard, Walmart, they get certain role. They would, even though the role might not be higher, but there's a prestige that comes for it, right? So by default, I'll tell you, in a small business SME, there is always a risk on quality resources. Some people stay loyal, they're comfortable, but at the back of every business owner, they know that this person would leave unless they give them more salary and option, right? So the AI comes in from this perspective that this is like Saraya from us is like a affordable option which you can use to augment yourself and your team members, right? So if I'm looking at it from that perspective, right? Like you want to hire tomorrow, like you want to grow your sales, you want to get your salesperson additional resources. your option is you go hire whatever, let's say another salesperson at like $30,000. If you can't do that, but at least if you can get him certain AI tools, like sorry, you give him an assistant or someone they can delegate, manage their work, it's going to cost you less and help them perform better. So that's how I see it. And I think when you're asking about from an AI perspective on jobs and all, I get that question asked a lot. My view is there are new roles and things coming up. I personally think, we didn't come in this world to set up meetings, follow up, track things. As humans, we are creators. We're creative people. That's what differentiates us. A lot of work we do, I think it grew over a period of time because of the nature of how things have evolved. Now we're remote. Think the work was very different. I know in my father's time, they used to go to the office, they used to take care of work, things were finished, they will come back, and then it was different. Now work is everywhere. There is no separation between work and home.
Very much true.
People are working globally. So when does work finish? When does, your leisure time start? And it's very different also. I'll tell you, Fak, in the sense, in our part of the world, it's different because we don't have that much, work-life balance type of separation. So work is everywhere.
Definitely. My take on AI replacing people's job isn't that this fear is new. Even early on, people said on the internet or IT in general that it will take over the world, replace humans. But what we have actually seen is more about job displacement, not actually replacement. And we have the data to back this up. For instance, in 2023, May, almost 3,900 jobs in the US were lost or laid off directly attributed to AI. But along with the job displacement, we have seen net new job creations. With the advent of AI, it's likely for every job that gets replaced, even more new jobs will actually emerge. These new opportunities will arise because of the technology will become so powerful, and we will need people to do the same task but using AI tools, whether it is accounting, data analysis, business analysis, product management, everything will be at least partially powered by AI. There are people building AI products like SarahAI and others who will be using these tools as a consumer. For example, some people will use SarahAI and be known as AI powered CEO or AI powered founders. I was reading this very recently that individuals running multi million dollar companies as solo founders, just one person running the entire business, and thanks to the artificial intelligence. On that note, I also run AI powered business analyst course where I teach students how to become future ready AI business analyst in the fast paced world. The course is designed to complement with IIBA certifications within the space of ECBA, CCBA, and CBAP to equip the professionals with the tools and the mindset to thrive in the AI driven business landscape and be ready for the job no matter which part of the world you are in, whether you are in UAE, whether you are in USA, Canada, Saudi Arabia, India, anywhere.
I think the thing is not, it's not AI is not going to take the jobs. It's going to be the people who are using AI will take the jobs. So it is, I mean, like it's a transformational change. So I'll go back to one of the big transformation that happened when the cars came in. There were all these like, carriage drivers and then horses. So everybody was like, what's going to happen to all these horses and the carriage drivers? So what happened? The carriage drivers became car drivers, taxi drivers. They just change. So right now a lot of people are doing work in a certain format using certain software and tools like, whatever, like Microsoft, Excel, and Word, and which I would say, like our previous generation, like older generation systems. Now in the future we'll be doing same things, right? We will be, as humans, we'll need food, we need doctors, we'll be going on holidays. Like that's been going on, right? Things have been changing, but these are things that have been going on for thousands of years. Now the only thing is the people who are providing these. So yeah, the guy who used to use all these Microsoft and different web tools to book a travel. Now the smart person, he'll be using some of these AI tools and give me some guided experiences in that way. So
Yes.
that's one thing. And secondly, there are a lot of new roles coming around obviously AI engineers and all, but AI ethics people who are putting on AI, responsible AI, people who are managing like AI product managers, AI testing is a whole new area. So new roles are coming up in the same way, I would say. I know with our background, like product manager didn't exist as a role like 20 years back. So that's a newer thing. Now everybody is talking about product manager. In 20 years, there'll be a new name for this role as well. Business analysts, I know, didn't even exist like 30 years back. People used to be called analyst. Now
Analyst.
yeah. There were like analysts or system analysts. So roles have been changing. But it'll be like similar type of functions that are going on. I'm just talking from a tech perspective. And in a lot of companies, when you're talking about, yeah, like I mentioned, very much when you're implementing, there will be very, very important roles, especially around responsible use of AI, ethics, managing things from a data safety perspective.
Talking about the UAE market, since I believe you are specifically building this product from the Middle East, especially from the UAE, this is where your target segment is. We all know the recent development, the visit of Donald Trump to the UAE, and a huge investment around the AI, including the establishments of the data centers and increased AI involvement. From what I've seen, or what I'm reading, is the AI market in this region is projected to reach approximately $46 billion in by 2030, or I believe 2030 41 something. Within that, AI alone is going to contribute to 14% of UAE's GDP, which is a huge thing. That's approximately $100 billion. And to further down, AI agent segment alone, where SarahAI basically fits in, is expected to grow from around 67 to $72 million by 2030. That means only in 5 years from now. And this aligns very well with UAE's strategic vision of AI adoption within the space of innovation. Now, considering this trajectory, you have positioned Sarah AI quite effectively in this space. As you are approaching the 2025, everybody's talking about it. I know that you have specifically mentioned small to medium sized businesses, but if I have to ask you, where do you see Sarah AI fitting into the larger UAE market economy growth? Any sectors that you're focusing on? What is your take on it?
Yeah, I would say, look, when I was building SarahAI and all, like, I had made a very conscious choice to build this and start this in UAE. I had a choice to go to Canada, come back to Canada, but I've done once. That was probably like a more comfortable choice, and even take it to US and all these places. But UAE, I've been here for 4 years. Few things were even surprising to me. For example, UAE had a first AI minister back in 2016. So this is like before any of this chat GPT stuff. Now, from the way, I mean, I had some interactions here with some of the folks in the leadership due to my previous work, and looking at their plans, their ambitions, the location, a lot of those factors made sense in this region. With I would not just say UAE, but UAE, like our Middle East and UAE and Saudi. Within 5 hours, two-thirds of world population is on our access, right? And so we have a good location. We have a very strong leadership, ambitious leadership, which has put very, very ambitious goals for, our 2030 plan, our 2071 plan, and a number of things are happening. It made a lot of sense. Other part, I would say UAE itself is a small country, 10 million, roughly 10, 11 million people, but it's very engaged. We have 150 nationalities. I didn't even know that number or something like that, if that many, some crazy number. Everybody is here. It's very diverse, and they're very open to newer experiences, trying out newer technology. So for people who've been into, especially outside Dubai, every single type of service that you can think of is there, because you'll find a segment that's using it. So yeah, it's a great place, I would say, to start things. It's people are very open, and they're also very collaborative. I would say, on the government side of things, there's a lot of infrastructure that's been coming together. You mentioned it on the AI side. So by the way, that's the biggest data center outside of US that's been put together. So that's the UAE's target program with that's a UAE joint program with NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI, and our company here called G42. G42 is you think of like our cloud company out of
I've heard of
UAE.
them.
And yeah, so they're getting involved, and it's kind of like, I would say potential is, yes, we are locally, the region that's around us is our market, I would say. We have access to a large market around us. And secondly, growing that sector, with the leaderships putting their resources, the wealth that they've generated through obviously previous businesses, and in Saudi more through oil and all, but they're putting it more towards the next set of things, and they're doing it. I would also say, I mentioned this too when I'm talking to people outside. I'm like, it's also an interesting example. Coming back to what SarahAI, what we're doing is, my goal and my vision is more around like, helping smaller businesses and all. So UAE in size a small country, it's like 11 million people. We're having a lot of people come in, but there you can imagine, right? We're never going to have, like, US has 280 million people, India has like 1.3, Iran has 60 million, even Saudi has like 35 million people. So UAE is a small country with a lot of ambition, but that's why it's putting AI, and we have a good opportunity to go in coming years, definitely beating every single country in Europe and Europe put together. So I don't even consider Europe as a competition, but it's more like sitting with technology. We're looking at, yeah, how can we beat China, India, and USA with a very small population? Keep in mind, right? So that's what we're doing here.
You might say it's a small country, but it has the power to adopt and transform very quickly. People here are very highly adaptable, flexible, and open to embracing new technologies. And that's what fuels the growth. There are many positive developments on the AI front, as you mentioned, and the appointment of the Minister of the AI is a significant step. And the general population is also showing strong adaptation to the technological change. While building, promoting, and growing Sarah AI, at what stage are you currently in? Have you encountered any challenges in scaling your product specifically when in this region?
Yes, I mean, challenges, there are many challenges I'm coming across, obviously, on a regular basis. I mean, I look at challenges and I see them like in a way an opportunity. So there's AI as a technology, and our work is a lot on the voice side of things. So I have a lot of, I would say, technical things that I'm coming across, from a latency, performance, having a really good user experience that we like. So we're working through that. I'm aware of certain technological enhancement, like some of the projects we're working on, and where I'm involved with some of my other colleagues in the other startup and tech world. Things are coming around. Another challenge, I would say, from an AI perspective, I think there's a lot of, I guess, there's a lot of buzz, enthusiasm around AI. Everybody, and a lot of people are saying doing AI things. So what's real, what's just hype. There are people in that category as well. Um, the the challenge we do have in the region is also purely from a startup tech perspective, is around the funding side of things. So while people would think that there's a lot of wealth, but a lot of our wealth and is kind of like, it works in more in that traditional space. Like, it's still locked into that space where things are more predictable, like regular businesses, and so the wealth from here is invested globally in a lot of things. Like, I mean, just to give you an example, a lot of Canadian ports are owned by the UAE sovereign wealth fund, because it's a predictable business. They know this business. A lot of real estate, a lot of the malls. One third of the London's real estate is owned by the Qatari royal fund, because they know how that traditional thing. So while it's there, so there are, when we're talking about startups, especially AI startups, which are new, which are more risky. We're figuring out number of things, and especially if you're, pre-revenue. So it's a little challenge in terms of attracting those type of investors into this thing, which is, I would say, Silicon Valley and in other places in the US, and there are more of that people are more inclined to do those things. They take more risks in those type of startups.
Yes, absolutely. I believe Dubai and the UAE as a whole is not far behind. If Silicon Valley is known for its startup hub, then Dubai is quickly becoming one too. We are seeing a surge of small startup emerging across various sectors. I've seen AI, crypto, fintech, healthcare, life science, all of these startups growing so much. These startups are actively solving a range of smaller, medium problems, very impactful in this industry. Of course, they all are facing challenges, some of them with regulatory, some of them with the other information, and I believe it all comes with building the trust. As you rightly pointed out, we believe that small efforts that is what leads to the meaningful solution. Take, for example, Sarah AI. Your AI agent wouldn't be solving this problem if you hadn't envisioned it at the first place. Now that MVP is launched and people are starting to see how it solves a real problem through WhatsApp, I am confident it will continue to grow.
Yeah. So I think I just want to be very clear. Like, I think when you talk about it, right, from a startup perspective, is this what we call like early stage funding, which is always a challenge because this is where the most risk is. So that's where and what I'm communicating here is that is a whole ecosystem, and it's not a lot of people haven't figured it out. I'll give you an example. In London, there is a what we call like a EIC tax credit that people get. So if you invest in these countries, you get certain tax credit. Now, obviously, in UAE, we don't have a tax system. that credit, that you cannot put that scheme, right? So I'm just giving you an example. Like in Canada, we have this, which I use my previous company. Like there was a program from government called shred credits when you're doing an R&D. The government gives you a rebate against your taxes. So again, we don't have any taxes, so you cannot apply those. Yeah, it's a saving, but I'm just saying there's certain programs and schemes which help early stage companies in other parts of the world, so you cannot replicate here. But beyond early stage, like when you go into Series A, B, and when there is more maturity in the startups and all, yeah, there's a lot of funds and availability over here. But like since you asked me about the challenges, so yes, it's going to be in our region. There are challenges on the funding side for early stage companies, which fairly global in a way. I just also want to like make sure like for you and your viewers to understand is like don't have this idea that oh you're gonna just show up in Dubai and people are just people are just standing left and right and they're gonna give you money. No, and it's not like that. It's always comes down to like we covered. Make sure you're solving a problem. Just I would say product management 101. Make sure there's an actual problem that's solving. It's not about technology or AI. Forget about AI. Forget about technology. Look at a problem. See what it is like. There's enough problem people who have that problem, and that the people are willing to pay some money to solve that problem. And from there, yes, then I think the opportunity is that now we're in this, I would say, golden stage where using a lot of AI technologies and building things, getting your MVP out, building something out, running an experiment is becoming more and more affordable. So those are the things where there's a lot of things that people can look.
Thank you so much, Abrar, for sharing this valuable information. I'm sure our viewers enjoyed it as much as I did. From learning about what Sarah AI is to understanding your product mindset and your entrepreneur journey, your startup journey, the challenges that you have faced, and your vision, the roadmap, especially for it. It's inspiring. Absolutely inspiring to see how the system you have built has potential to revolutionize the industry that you're targeting, especially in the areas of automation and AI. Your contribution is not only advancing the innovation, but also to play a meaningful role in shaping the AI system or AI ecosystem within UAE.
No, I think this was really good, Afaq. I enjoyed it. And look, I would say as a builder, as a entrepreneur, like we are now in a golden age. So I would say what I say to most people: don't think, act, get on it, fire up your GPT, Claude, whatever, with the prompts and all, and get things going, and just start doing it. You don't need permission, you don't need too much analysis, and just yeah, you'll start doing whatever you think is an idea and then follow it through. And as long as you're making some progress, you're gonna learn a few things, make mistake, learn, keep going, and yeah.
Absolutely. What my belief is, everyone's got an idea, but ideas alone don't change anything. At the end of the day, it's about taking that first step. Because once you start, momentum kicks in and things begin to align. Opportunities show up and progress happens. So I would say stop thinking, start doing. That's how I move forward, and that's how my life principle is all about. So, once again, Abrar, thank you so much for being on my show. It was a pleasure connecting with you, talking to you, and learning a lot of things from you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was really great. And yeah, if think Afaq, you'll share in the thing, but to if anybody wants to reach out, let me know. And I hope you would find Sarah interesting. So visit our website with the link, thesarahai.com, and sign up for our beta waitlist. It'll be good to
Definitely.
get more people on our waitlist and get your feedback into what we're building.
No, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We'll definitely do that.
All right.
Bye.